The 6888 film tells the incredible and often overlooked story of the 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion, a unit of African American women who served during World War II. Despite the historical significance of their mission, the contributions of these women were largely unrecognized until recent years, and it is only now, through Tyler Perry's upcoming Netflix film, that their legacy is being brought to light. The 6888 Battalion was formed at a time when the military, like most institutions in the United States, was steeped in segregation and discrimination. During World War II, the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps was established to allow women to serve in non-combat roles. It wasn't long before these roles expanded to include women of color, but initially, black women were not sent overseas despite expressing their desire to serve. Activists like Dovey Johnson Roundtree and Mary McLeod Bethune, who fought for racial equality and the inclusion of black women in the military, helped change that. In 1945, following years of activism, the 6888 was formed, made up predominantly of black women, with Major Charity Adams Early becoming the highest-ranking African-American woman in the U.S. military at the time. Her leadership and courage would be instrumental in the success of the battalion's mission. Tyler Perry's involvement in the project began after producer Nicole Avant approached him with the idea. Avant, who had learned about the 6888 from her mother as a child, was deeply moved by the courage of the women in the battalion and their mission. In a recent interview, Avant spoke about how her parents, both passionate advocates for African American history, had instilled in her a love for stories like the one of the 6888. It was clear to her that this story deserved to be told on a grand scale. Perry, upon hearing about the project, was equally moved and eager to bring the story to life. The battalion's mission was immense. They were tasked with sorting through more than 17 million pieces of undelivered mail that had been sitting idle in warehouses for months. Many of the letters and packages had incomplete addresses or were severely damaged, making their delivery even more difficult. The women of the 6888 worked around the clock in difficult conditions to organize and distribute the mail, and they did so with remarkable efficiency, completing the task in just 3 months instead of the 6 months they had been given. Their work provided a vital morale boost to soldiers who had been separated from their families for extended periods, helping to maintain their spirits during some of the darkest days of the war. Despite the harsh conditions they faced, including poor living arrangements, substandard food, and the constant threat of discrimination, the women of the 6888 persevered. Their living quarters were often inadequate, with outdoor showers in the cold of winter, and they were forced to work in dark, cold, rodent-infested buildings. Yet, Major Adams led with resilience, refusing to let the unit be subjected to segregated facilities, which led to a boycott that forced the Army to change their policies. The 6888's determination to complete their mission was not just a testament to their work ethic, but also a direct challenge to the racist and sexist systems that sought to undermine their contributions. Tyler Perry's film, which will be released in select theaters and on Netflix this December, is a labor of love that highlights the bravery and sacrifices of these women. Perry, who was inspired by meeting one of the surviving members of the 6888, Lena Derricott King, felt compelled to ensure that this story received the recognition it deserved. King, who passed away in early 2024 at the age of 100, was able to see a rough cut of the film before her death, and Perry shared that she was deeply moved by it, saying, "Thank you so much for letting the world know that we contributed." The story of the 6888 is significant not just for its historical importance, but also for the way it challenges the prevailing narratives about women in World War II. For decades, the contributions of women of color, particularly black women, were often erased from the story of the war. The image of Rosie the Riveter, the white working-class woman symbolizing wartime industrial labor, became synonymous with the notion of women's contribution to the war effort. However, black women, many of whom served in equally critical roles, did not receive the same level of recognition. The work of the 6888 is just one example of how African American women, often relegated to the margins of history, played pivotal roles in shaping the outcome of the war. The recognition of the 6888's efforts was long overdue, and it wasn't until 2022 that Congress awarded the battalion the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian honor in the United States. This recognition came nearly 80 years after the battalion's service, underscoring the systemic erasure of their contributions. The passing of the 6888 Congressional Gold Medal Act in March 2022 was a landmark moment in the battle for acknowledgement of these women's sacrifices and achievements. The movie adaptation, The 6888, is another important step in ensuring that their story is not forgotten. The film features a star-studded cast, including Kerry Washington as Major Charity Adams, Oprah Winfrey as Mary McLeod Bethune, and a host of other talented actors who bring these historical figures to life. The cast's involvement is a testament to the importance of this story and the impact it has on contemporary audiences. By sharing the story of the 6888, the film aims to inspire future generations to recognize the contributions of women of color throughout history and to ensure that these stories are never overlooked again. The production of the 6888 is an important cultural event, one that shines a light on the unsung heroes of World War II. In addition to bringing the historical events to life, the film also highlights the personal and emotional journeys of the women who served. Through the experiences of Major Adams and her fellow soldiers, the audience is introduced to the strength, courage, and resilience required to succeed in such a challenging mission. The film emphasizes the intersection of race and gender, showcasing the obstacles faced by black women in a segregated military and society, and the ways in which they overcame these challenges to make a lasting impact. The making of the 6888 was also a deeply personal journey for Nicole Avant. Growing up, Avant had heard stories of the 6888 from her mother, who had been passionate about preserving African American history. Avant's commitment to telling this story was driven by the belief that these women deserved recognition for their service, something that was often denied to them. Her passion for the project led her to work closely with Tyler Perry, who she knew could bring the story to the screen in a way that would do it justice. Avant's dedication to the project was further fueled by her desire to honor her parents, who had instilled in her a deep respect for history and the importance of passing on knowledge to future generations. The 6888 is not just a historical film, it is a powerful reminder of the contributions of black women during World War II and the importance of recognizing their stories. The 6888 Battalion's mission to deliver 17 million pieces of mail to soldiers on the front lines under difficult conditions and with limited resources was a monumental achievement that has long been overlooked. Through Tyler Perry's film, the women of the 6888 are finally receiving the recognition they deserve. Their story is one of perseverance, courage, and resilience in the face of adversity, and it is a story that will inspire generations to come. By bringing their story to the screen, the 6888 ensures that these women's contributions will never be forgotten. If you like this video and know someone in the military, please share it with them. Thank you for watching.